Good morning, everybody. We're back again. Scalping and day trading, the S&P 500 on New York Open. How's everybody doing today? Just got a screen up. We're about to open. Sean Evans, first comment. Hello all. Hello, Sean. Holy Earth, good to see you, my friend. Amar, good afternoon to you too. Alameen, good to see you. How are you doing all? Great to see the whole gang back in action. Who's ready for a good day today? Let's hope it's a good day. I'm going to quickly break down the chart. Randoms for you. Good to see you, my friend. How are you all? We're about to open. Let's see how this open fares. Is it going to be bullish, bearish, ranging? Let's find out. Lots of sell pressure coming in. It's pushing up though. Oh, look at those sellers. Got completely annihilated there. Let's see if they can grab it back though. Very weak open. Very weak. But the buyers are coming in slowly. They're able to push that market up a bit. Oh, sellers are gaining control again. Oh, that's a very weak open. It's a very rangy open. Let's go. Howdy from Texas. Ransom, good to see you. How's it over there in Texas? Nice and sunny, I hope. Ready? Ciao, Sammy. Ciao to you, my friend. How are you? I love you, bro. Specifically, your energy. Thank you, randoms. Thank you. Much appreciated. Look at those buyers slowly coming in, but it's a very choppy open. Normally when you see like a very choppy open like that, you get a bit of a range day. But it has been moving in the pre-market. In terms of my levels, there's not much really here. There's a gap on the daily session, so I wouldn't be opposed to potentially shorting here. Look at all those buyers coming in, actually struggling. There is a bit of, but the sellers were struggling as well. I might go in just one position, really small. Let's see. Look at those buyers coming in and they're failing. Right, if they fail, keep failing here. I've gone in short just because I'm seeing that absorption. There's obviously a lot of sellers in the book here, really holding off the buyers. We're in a small gap. If we break above, I'll get out. It's not a big deal. But it's just dipping my toe in, see if the buyers actually manage to do anything here. See, they're breaking above. They actually broke through the, what do you call it? But there are sellers coming in, so maybe let's see if those buyers hold. Yeah, they're holding. They're good. All right, we're out. Little bit of a failed trade there. But in terms of my levels, I don't really have any major levels at the moment. We've only got one at the top here that's good and one at the bottom here. So ideally, we visit the bottom one because it's closer by. Most likely we'll get there first. And then we can go long. But who knows? Let's see on the chat. Cody, good to see you. Morning, Sam. Ransom, beautiful here. That's nice spot between too cold and way too hot. That is a good one. I think it's pretty shit here. Actually, no, it's actually all right here, but it's always cold. That's the problem. Mastro, good to see you. Cody, past 2 more evals with one of your competitors yesterday. Still waiting on Olaprom to get set up with Ninja Trader. Very soon, my friend, very soon. But glad you're passing those evals. Good stuff. Yeah, so that little gap there, that didn't really hold up. It wasn't really being treated well either. Like if you actually look at in the past here, we've kind of blown through it many times. It wasn't really holding up. There's another tiny one there, but again, I'm not going to be really putting too much emphasis on those. It's really up here and down here. Those are the two areas that I kind of want the market to get to. Whichever one, I don't really care whether it's up here or down here. One of those two, I want the market to get to. But we haven't really got there yet. Those buyers there, there was a nice big iceberg sitting here, but the sellers are, unfortunately, they're very weak. They were very weak. So I'm not going to be trading this gap. This is really nothing I'm that majorly interested in. Let me just have a quick look real quick. Yeah, it's not even really a gap. We've got the point of control a bit higher up. I can imagine something to happen around that point of control here. But it's moving quite nicely, though. It's moving quite nicely for now. So let's see. The fuck is happening? News, what the fuck? It's back at my entry almost. 6882. Oh, did you go short earlier, black and white? I'm assuming you went short. I don't think there's any news. Yeah, there's no news at the moment. This is just a very bullish open. It was a bit weak at the beginning. And the buyers really struggled, even with a lot of volume. They really struggled to break here. But once they did, it was smooth sailing for them. This was a decent iceberg there from the sell side in this area. That was holding off. But it just goes to show, even with big icebergs, if the other side puts too much volume into the market, they can break through these icebergs. And once they do, smooth sailing, as we're seeing right now. So we're at the point of control. Let's see, is there anything at the point of control that might affect this market? I'm not seeing any sellers wanting to come in. Haven't had any pullbacks yet. It's all just drifting up. We're going to have to wait for something to happen now, because you don't really want to chase the market either. So it's a bit of a waiting game. And we're still far away from that next gap, really far away. I somehow feel we're not going to get there. I mean, we might get there eventually, but trying to think, is there any other little scalp I could potentially take? I mean, you got the point of control because I want to keep it interesting. I mean, there is a gap at that point of control there, which is quite funny. On the move down, I wouldn't be surprised if sellers want to enter here, though. Let's see what they're doing. There's a lot of volume, a little spike of volume on the buyers, but again, sellers are coming in, but they're not really having much luck, you know? That would be a real fade move, and it would be a bit dangerous to play. In terms of, I mean, we could do a volume profile just from here to here. I mean, it's going to be very weak, these gaps here, but we might get potentially a scalp off it if we go long. We'll see how, probably better to wait for the lower one rather than this one here. We'll see. Just got to wait and see a little bit. Something will happen. We'll get something. I mean, the sellers are coming in at that point of control. That's kind of expected. You're going to expect some sell pressure, but it really matters how effective they are. And they're not very effective right now. They're putting in the orders, but they're struggling to break through here. And the moment the buyers come in, they're actually quite good. So for me, it's short term still definitely more on the buy side. And that's already been filled. So that's no longer really a gap. There's a few tiny ones, but there's nothing really spectacular here in terms of, yeah, there's nothing really spectacular. Ideally, we get a pullback. Pullback down to here would be nice, and then we could potentially go up. That would be good. Well, around that area, especially where that 1,900, these buyers here, because they defended really well. They came in so aggressive. We dipped momentarily into it, and we shot off again. But that is quite a deep pullback. These buyers are very aggressive. The problem is they might not defend. They might just exit the market. If we get there, that's the thing. If they exit the market, then, well, you're counting on people defending. Whereas if you're counting on people getting squeezed out, people are forced to exit the market. It's better than someone being not forced to enter the market. All right, we're at that first area. We see a bit of buyers coming in as expected. Might not be terrible to potentially enter. Come on. Just want to see. Those buyers held up quite quickly there. The gap is filled. That moved very quick. I want something a bit better though. Peter Cosmas, hello all. Got another joke for you as promised. Go for it, man. Cody says, I felt there wasn't much on the charts this morning. I have to wait for more price action, show some more levels. I agree. There's nothing really on the open here that looks great to take for me. But at the same time, I don't want to sit here and do nothing and bore you guys. So I want to try take something, some action, you know. I told my date I make my living reading bars. She thought I meant cocktails, not candlesticks. By the time I explained, I only get excited when the candles climax together. She decided my idea of a hot night out was way too technical. Mikey, Mike, you never bought us. Well, thank you, Mikey. Thank you. Ransom, new around here, watched your playlist though. I love it. Can you quickly share your profile settings from where you anchored it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Give me 2 seconds because I just see something might happen in this area. I might go in long here. I see they're trying to defend these buyers. Let's see if they can actually push it up and continue. Otherwise, if these buyers do not defend, really, you know, if we get below this 1.9, that's real bad. They did defend there, those original buyers. We want to stay above now that 755. In terms of take profit, I mean, there's no point even setting one right now. We'll just see how far this can go if it does go. But the sellers do want to really, really try and push this down now. It might be a bit of a range day, to be honest, especially with how the volume's coming in. Yeah, you see the sellers are getting below those buyers. We'll give them another chance, these buyers. They're still trying to battle it out. All right, it's a bit of volume coming in, but let's see if they can really break above and squeeze. You know, we need to get above these heavy sellers here. And you can see every time we're getting in there, they're getting pushed back down, the buyers. And then vice versa. Every time the sellers get into this area where all those buyers are, they're getting pushed back up. So we're kind of being squeezed on both sides here. One side is going to win eventually. At this moment in time, it's very hard to know which side that is. Could be buyers or sellers. I'm going to bet for the buyers for now because they were the original first kind of, you know, they wanted it more at the time. But the sellers can break through. It's not really a great place to be stuck in the trade, to be honest. Look at that. The sellers are getting below those buyers. They're putting in more volume. Let's see if the buyers have any give here. Maybe they can work some magic. I should probably set a stop loss already. I'll set it to about here. Because I can't do it by price. I have to do it by structure. So the top of that wick is really, say bottom of that candle. Yeah, I'll say pretty much where we are, but it looks like, yeah, those buyers are not coming in. They're giving up. The sellers might actually have it here. They do. All right. It could just be a rotational day. We might just rotate up and down a bit because those buyers are not really doing much at this moment in time. They did come in, but they gave up. The sellers keep coming in. But they haven't exited either, though. If you actually look at the volume that's being printed, they haven't exited, those buyers. They're still in the game. If they're still in the market, they might still come in. We'll jump in if they come in again. Nah, they're getting absorbed badly here. Just want to wait, see if there's anything. We want to catch that move and pile on the positions. Come on. Oh, it's a battle. Look at that. It is a battle. It's a real battle. I'll ransom. My volume profile settings. Yes, because I think they're breaking through here. It's 24 essentially. I think 24 rows. Yep. Row layout is number of rows. 24 is the row size, up down volume. And I've anchored it from, well, I've done multiple different ones. So on the 15-minute, this is going to look messy as hell, but basically from the top of this move down, right? And we've only got one gap near the top here that has yet to be, tested. And then this move up we've had, I've anchored another one, and there's again another gap here that has been tested a couple of times here and here. So it's really, these are the two areas you really want to wait for. If you're going to put size into a position, you want to do it in one of these two areas. When you're kind of in the middle between it, it becomes a bit shit. And then I've just got like a 1 minute one on the open to see, but that's only if it is a true bullish market, if we're getting that retracement and continuation, but it's looking like this is failing basically. They're almost at the open now, so I can pretty much get rid of this one. Unfortunately, it didn't really hold. Those original buyers are kind of getting squeezed out now, but they might still come back in. This is the thing. Like, they just kind of gave up at the top here. And then sellers came in. We're just kind of rotating a bit. This might not be a terrible entry here, though, because I'm starting to see the sellers struggling a bit. And again, if we stay above this 300, it might be all right. And we can have a really tight stop. Okay, I'm going to have a really tight stop literally just below here. I'm seeing the buyers trying to fight it here. Maybe we get the extension all the way back up again. Again, buyers are coming in, but they're getting eaten up a little bit here. They need to break through, and we need to stay like afloat, stay above them. Stay above this volume, above. If we start drifting down, I might as well just get the hell out rather than wait to get stopped out. There's no point. And those were the only effective buyers in the market. They were the only ones who were able to actually move the market. And the sellers were starting to fail despite putting bigger volume in. So that shift kind of happened. But look, sellers are coming in again. Let's see. I'm going to get ready to potentially get out, because if they become effective, no, that's good. This is very good now. Now we're trading above sellers. They failed. This is actually very good. It's a very good sign. So we can extend that, take profit up, and just get out as the market. Buyers are starting to slowly fail as well here, though. We don't want to get below those sellers. It was looking good for a few seconds, and then the buyers start failing. Buyers coming back in, 400. That's good. Got to get above, stay above. There we go. Good. Got to get above these buyers as well. There's definitely an iceberg or something here. Yep, we broke through it. Excellent. Come on. Keep going. I'll look at the chat in 2 seconds. Just going to let this play out. Come on, that 648 buyers need to be able to defend. We don't want to get lower than here now. We want to stay above. Sellers coming back in. They're starting to get a bit more effective, these sellers. Yeah, this might be it. I'm out. I'm going to get out. They're just failing at the top here. So it's a very kind of, we're not really moving anywhere. We're kind of going up and down, up and down. And yeah, it's a good thing I got out. Look at that candle. Really, the sellers coming back in heavy again. We just got to wait for a better opportunity. It's all a bit choppy and scalpy right now. All right, let's look at the comments. Raymond, hello, Sammy. Hello to you, my friend. Albert, hello from Brisbane, Sammy. Almost 1 a.m. Damn, man. I mean, I appreciate you tuning in, but if you need to go to sleep, man, go to sleep. But honestly, do appreciate it. Thanks. So you're primarily drawing them over large swings. Absolutely. That's pretty much what I'm doing. Any kind of swing that is still in play. Does that make sense? Because I know you can look at market structure and say, all right, look, we're starting to build bullish market structure or bearish market structure, whatever, right? But you know, this is obviously moving down. Yes, we've broken market structure and we're starting to go bullish, but the markets are never that clean. You know, it can break a high, it can break a low, it can start doing a bit of bullish market structure, and before you know it, because look, technically it's a lower high right now, and it's created a lower low. It could just flood down. It could change very quickly. So any leg that is still technically in play, like this one here, this swing from here, that's still very much in play. It could easily, you know, the market could easily go up here and then go right back down again. But then this could be a true move. You know, this move up could be the start of a proper uptrend, and we start creating really good, you know, bullish structure and keep going up and up and up. So I play it by ear mostly, but we're kind of dead in the middle right now, and there's a lot of point of controls here. Like in this move down, we've got the point of control here, that red line. Now, if you look at the daily session volume profile, we've got a lot of point of controls. One from Friday, one from Monday. All right, Tuesday's a bit further down, but Wednesday is up here. We're pretty much on today's point of control as well. This is high traffic area. This whole area here is a lot of traffic. So I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of range today. There's nothing really in the news, unless, you know, something gets announced or something big happens. I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of just stay kind of ranging in this area today. So I'm not seeing much conviction. Even at the open, although we opened bullish for the first few minutes, the first candle was very, I said it at the beginning as well, it could be a rangy day just from the way the volume was coming in. It was very indecisive. So who knows? We'll see. So for now, I'm going to treat it more of a range. I don't know. I'm not seeing, but I can totally see if we start ranging, I can totally see it dipping into here and then quickly, you know, a little of a, almost like you see it happen all the time, especially when you're in a range. You know, this kind of, this area is the bottom of the range. It just breaks below, kind of like a false breakout. It is a bit of a dip it will have to take, but I've seen it happen many times, and then it, boom, quickly reverses and up it goes. So that I can see happening. But yeah, this is nasty. Nasty volume right now. It's all over the place. Up, down, buyers, sellers, buyers, sellers. The distribution of volume isn't great. You know, sellers are everywhere. Buyers are everywhere. They're not kind of uniform. The odd candle looks good. Like this is buyer distribution, right? Sellers mostly at the bottom, buyers at the top. But then it quickly changes. This again is more of a bullish distribution. But you kind of want to see it all line up together, and it's not really, it's looking a little bit more bullish, but it can very quickly change. Raymond, are you in Dubai? I'm not in Dubai. No, I'm in the UK right now. I'm at home in the UK. I'm not in Dubai. Yeah, it's starting to look a bit more bullish now. Little bit more bullish. I think they're breaking through the bulls. I'm contemplating whether to get in. I would have to have my stop below that candle there. If I do, my stop would have to be below here. So maybe if we get like a little pullback and rejection, I could jump in. That's those buyers. The sellers are coming back in. They're coming in heavy now. Let's see if they are effective or fail. Now they're failing. Fuck it, let's go in. Let's go in. I'm getting the sense this might break out. I know I said it could be a range day. I'm gonna have a bit of a bigger stop, but it's fine. I'm right at the top of what could be a range. So I'm gonna have to be quick at getting out if I see anything I don't like. But let's keep it nice and interesting. As again, the sellers coming in. I see that there's something going on here. If the sellers break through, I'd rather get out. I only have a small loss. I don't like the fact that we're below those buyers, but it's not massive. We're only a little bit below. We're not, really trading below them massively. The only thing I kind of like and why it looks more bullish is the distribution of volume. Sellers are majority at the bottom of a few candles, and the buyers are kind of distributed higher up and kind of holding it a bit. So I feel if they put in a bit more volume, they could actually break through here quite dramatically. That's it. Put in a bit more volume, really break through. It can happen. But of course, we're now approaching that high. So this is, if it really is a range day, we might not break here. Here it is. See, they need to just put in a bit more volume like they did here. Then we can get that spike up. But we're at that high. I'll be ready to get out if it starts faffing about here. If we don't get a nice clean break quickly, I'll be happy to get out. I want to see sellers really pile on, not sellers, sorry, buyers pile on the positions and pop through. That's it. Pop through. There we go. That's it. Pile it on. Keep piling it on. Pop through. Nice. Nice. All right. And now keep that momentum. There we go. Good. All right. Let's look at the next area where we could have an issue. I mean, there's so many different areas. These little highs here, and then obviously the big ones here, which we're already at the first ones. Let's see how they react here. Nice big volume coming in. Already just going to go to break even just in case. All right, they're adding volume, but they're getting absorbed a little bit in that little spike there. They need to, again, just add a lot more volume and pop through the iceberg. That's all it is. It's just an iceberg order. You've got to pop through it. If I see too many aggressive sellers coming in, I'll just take the money because this is a very choppy market. But those last two candles that the buyers printed, nice. This is very nice. Good volume, good follow through. I'm not liking the fact that there are sellers coming in, but they're not really doing that much damage. I want to stay really, really kind of stay above the last chunk of buyers. It's definitely an iceberg here, holding off the buyers from pushing up. But they need to add more volume. It's just sellers kind of adding a bit. They keep reloading, but they're all right. They're being held off. You can see them being held off, which is okay. That's it. Add the volume. There you go. 400. Oh, back down to -70. You see that? Back to 300. Here's something. They're breaking through. That 400 buyers that went to -70 doesn't look good, but they quickly reloaded. They're back to 400. They got to break through. There we go. Nice. Good stuff. Well done, buyers. Look at that, 500, adding the volume. Nice, nice. Oh, back down to 130, 167. The reloading. You want to see that reloading happening. You know, if they get a pushback, you want to see them add more volume, add more volume. The moment they start getting exhausted and that stops happening, it's your first red flag that maybe this might not work out. I'm going to get rid of the TP because I don't really need the TP because I'm going to get out fluidly. Whenever I see something I don't like, I'll get out. Okay, again, sellers trying to come back in. Let's see how effective they are. They're adding a lot of volume. They're getting quite effective here. I don't really like it. I'm going to get out. I don't like how many sellers are coming in. But cool. That's that little trade pump. Bit of a pump. Okay, made some quick bucks. Got to go. Take care, Sammy. No problem, Peter. Have a good one. Glad you made a bit of money. But yeah, look, when the sellers do come in, I mean, they come in quite aggressively. Looking at 600 contracts here. Another 500. They don't fuck about, these sellers, I'm telling you. But it's kind of what we would expect. Again, we're in this high traffic area. A lot of buyers are going to be taking out their money as well. It's to be expected. It's not completely. This is the problem when you're in a high traffic area on the chart. It's never going to be smooth sailing. It's always going to be a little bit of chop. Now you could intraday trade it, keep it on the 5 or 15 minute and trade it like that. But that's too much stress for me. I'd rather just get the hell out. Take the little bits here and there, you know. That was a good little pump. In terms of the 5-minute chart, it's not looking terrible, but oh, look at that. It's really building up the sellers. Let's see what's happening. Yeah, those sellers are really, but they're not pushing the market down again. They're adding a lot of volume and they're getting stuck more at the bottom, which is generally a good sign. The buyers are still somewhat in control. So, nice. I'm going to let this play out. I don't want to jump back in long until we get a bit more of a pullback or something a bit better, because these pullbacks have been pretty good. Like, that was a decent pullback. So I wouldn't be surprised we get another quite deep pullback, you know. This volume profile is pretty much dead as of now. There's nothing really above us in terms of gaps, so I'm kind of happy to almost get rid of this one now. I'm not really looking at much there anymore. The session, the daily volume profile is not looking nice at all. There's not a single gap in there. it's kind of shaped like a range. Whenever you get that V shape, I know it's a bit more of a B shape at the moment, kind of. It's kind of half B, half range. But we are above the majority of the volume. I wouldn't be surprised if buyers jump back in here. I'm going to wait for a bit more of a deeper retracement before potentially jumping in. But yeah. Oh. In Joker, good to see you, man. How are you? Took any trades yet? I took a few trades, yes. You missed... There you go. Little short that got stopped out. Long got stopped out. Long that was okay. And another long that was okay. So 4 trades. 2 good, 2 bad. Bit of a flat day so far. Just waiting for a good pullback like what we're getting now. Let's see potentially where we can jump back in. We'll do a volume profile on this move up. That looks shit. There's nothing there. Looks terrible. There is nothing there. We're in a really, really bad area of the chart right now. We're in a nasty area. See it on the 15-minute, I think. Yeah, this is a very, very sideways market. Well, let's hope that we break out of this range. Otherwise, truth be told, if we get near the highs again, it wouldn't be a bad short again, because we've done this a few times now. We've rotated a few times. Yeah. Let's see what the volume on this sell-off is looking like. So we can use the cumulative. Oh, wow. This is actually quite interesting. No, sorry. I've read this wrong. All right. So if we just look at how many buyers it took to push the market from here to here, right? So altogether, it was negative 1,000. And to get to the top, about plus 1,000. So 2,000 something contracts the buyers required. Sellers then required 200 to here to another 2,000. Yeah, they're actually very flat. They both require the same amount of contracts to push it the same amount. So they're actually very balanced. Buyers took about 2,000 to get it up. Sellers also took about 2,000 to get it down, meaning both sides are a threat to each other. And this is a very deep pullback. If it is a pullback, it could be the end. This might just be a full rotation back down again. Yeah, it could be. We shall see. Bonjour, de la France. Biz, bonjour to you. How are you, my friend? By the way, love the video about how to read strength of each side with the CVD. Thank you, Manu. Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, right now, using the CVD, it's very even, the market. So in a weird way, it's actually a very readable market, because both sides are about as strong as each other. Meaning if you see heavy sellers come in, they could actually push it down. If you see heavy buyers come in, they could push it up. But that volume distribution on this candle, very bearish. That's a very bearish volume distribution. Look at a ton of buyers at the top here, ton of sellers at the bottom with follow through. That's a very bearish volume distribution. Granted, it's only a 1 minute candle, but nonetheless. Wouldn't be surprised if buyers try to get it up, fail, and then it just similar kind of thing happens where buyers are trapped at the wick. Then you've got a little bit of what looks like a trend line here. I don't really trade trend lines, but I can see why buyers are coming in. If people spotted that, you're going to get a lot of buyers buying at exactly on that trend line right there. So it kind of makes sense why there's a lot of buyers coming in. And look at that. They're getting above the sellers now. Oh, it's very rotational. This is a very, this is a scalper's market. You want to be in and out. You don't want to be holding these trades. Because when it reverses or wants to go the other way, it goes quick. It doesn't mess about. Look at that. No pushback at all. It's just moving. Damn. A bit of pushback now. Spoke too soon, but who knows? See what the 5 minutes looking like. Yeah. 5 minutes just looking a mess, to be honest. Doesn't look nice on the 5 minute. I mean, short term, it definitely looks more bearish just because of all those sellers there that actually pushed the market down. But it doesn't seem like people are holding their trades right now in this market. They're very quick to exit because no one is really defending. And we're almost at the open again. Well, yeah, we've almost come back again. Up, down, very rangy. I wonder what the NQ is looking like, actually. So the ES we've just seen. Let's have a quick look at the NQ. Does it look any different? NQ is very similar, but we're much higher up from the open. NQ looks a lot more bullish in its structure. I mean, a clear kind of bullish structure, right? ES is a bit more compact, if you look at it here. That's the open candle. We're not far from the open, whereas the open is all the way down here on NQ. We're quite far. And the YM, the Dow, let's see if that's any different. See which one's leading the pack. Oh, wow. Okay. Now that's a shocker. That is completely inverse. They're very different. Where's the open on Dow? Here. So the open was bullish as well, and then the sellers really knocked it down. The sellers are far better on the Dow. That explains why the ES is kind of in the middle, right? You got the NQ that's very bullish in its structure, the Dow that looks definitely more bearish in its structure, and the ES is kind of in the middle. But look at that though on the Dow. That was a beautiful. Look at this gap it has on the daily. Beautiful gap right there. And on the open, we touched it. Boom, shot down twice on it. That's a very nice gap. If there's ever a nice gap to look at, just visually, this is it. Just look at that volume distribution, right? Big volume. and then a real small volume node, and then big volume immediately after. I mean, that's a beautiful, beautiful gap. If you ever see it look like that, definitely take note. Because again, you have a tiny bit of a gap here, big volume, and then a drop off, and then a little bit of an increase, but it's just not as sweet as that one, right? That one is so extreme and so well, almost looks like someone, like that's almost a perfect gap in on the volume profile. So take a screenshot of that. That is what you're looking for, a gap like that. That is the sweet. That is beautiful. That's picture perfect. I wonder where it was created though. Was it created on this move down? Not quite. Was it created from this move? I have to get rid of extend right. Yeah, it was created on this move down. So the gap was, you can see it there. Did it include the move up as well? It did still include the move up. So it was created quite earlier on. So that's why it kind of blew right through here many times, because it was being created during this section here. And then it's now starting to stick here. Interesting. All right, well, the Dow and the NQ are complete opposites right now. The ES is going to be in the middle. Ugh. That doesn't give me much hope that it's going to be a fun trend day today. That does feel like it's going to be a bit more of a rangy day. Because when those two diverge and become opposites, the ES just, it's obviously, it has both of them. ES is the collective, right? It includes them both. So it just kind of balances out and becomes a bit rangy. All right, treat it as a range. That's the only way you can really trade it right now. Treat it as a range. So I'd want it to go a bit lower down, and then I'll probably buy. And if we get, a bit higher up, wouldn't mind selling. That's literally the game plan now. Until it truly breaks out, that is what I'm going to be doing. So, bit boring today. Let's see what gold is doing. I know a lot of you guys like gold. Let's just have a quick look at gold while this does what it does. Oh, wow. What's going on here? All right, let's look at a 15-minute. I've got some levels I drew a while back, I'm assuming. Let's go to the 1 minute. Okay, yeah, so we got that big ass gap. Kind of rejected, pushed down. Did reject a little bit, and I'm assuming that was news related. Yeah, 1 p.m. That would have been news related. Kind of broke through, stayed above, and now we're breaking through on the other side. Interesting. Almost breaking out. I'm just going to create this on auto so I can see a bit better. So gold's in a shit area as well. We're right by that point of control. Got another gap there on gold, which it did touch quite recently, a few days ago. Apart from that, gold's looking a bit, I don't know. It's looking a bit shit too as well, gold. But I would definitely want to buy again if we get down to, around the 5,000. That's the futures price, obviously, but nice round number as well. I'll definitely be interested in potentially buying in that area, even if it's just up to there. For an intraday trade, that would work. 15-minute in terms of the open. I mean, gold doesn't really have the same open, but you know what I mean. Yeah, the volume is, again, the distribution is not nice. There's nothing, no clarity. There is no clarity in any of these markets right now. Okay, we're getting more closer to the bottom of today's range. Let's see. I mean, if we see a ton of buyers come in and sellers get trapped, why not enter for a buy? That's because you're on S&P. Got the same volatility as MNQ during the night session. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, S&P is very slow in comparison. I don't think I can still trade the no, NQ is still not open for me. It's got to be S&P. Do the markets tend to range or have indecision the day before NFP? Can do, to be fair. Before any major news, sometimes the markets can be a bit indecisive. But then other times they like to already pre-price things in and it moves quite well. I've never done like a statistical analysis on it to see if there is any truth to it. I don't know. But it's very hit and miss a lot of the times. Like right before the news, yeah, the markets tend to go a bit crazy a lot of the time. Especially if there are people in the market all trying to get the hell out. Okay, so that was interesting. Look at that 1,000 right there. Zero follow through. Printed 1,000, nothing happened. I think that's people getting stopped out potentially. Buyers getting stopped out because it happened instantly. So buyers have just been stopped out. Let's see if fresh buyers enter and reclaim that area. And I think those were fresh sellers. Those were definitely buyers getting stopped out just based on where we were. Maybe at break even, some of these buyers that entered. Just makes sense, right? If buyers decide to come in, say, oh, look, if they've recognized it's a range, we do have that head and shoulders pattern though. I'm not a huge pattern guy, but you can see that head and shoulders coming into effect there. Rem and long, potentially a long. If we are in a ranging market, then, well, we're at the bottom of the range. So yeah, naturally you would want a long, but I want to see buyers actually come in. At the moment, no buyers have really come in. So it's actually just more sellers coming in. More sellers. We've still got, I mean, ideally we get down to here, 6, 8, 20 around there. That would be beautiful. Ideally, if we can get down there, I would love to potentially buy here. That would be great. So we're below now the open candle. Let's see if it actually makes its move down. We might get some action here. We had a little bit of buyers come in, but nothing too crazy. You could go, if you're willing to front run at a small size, you could go in long here, but you have to have the tightest stop on the planet. Because if we break below those buyers, look, they're coming in, buyers. If I would front run it, I'm going to front run it because I'm seeing buyers come in always here, right? But your stop will have to be below there, right? You cannot hold that trade. Like if we break below those buyers, that's out. Like you just have to be willing to get out. But they haven't been truly effective and not a huge amount of buyers coming in. So you're front running based on hoping buyers come in and actually really, just based purely on structure here. We're at these lows. Are they going to come in? Are they going to actually push this market up and be aggressive? We'll see. But it is a front running trade. All right, so it's not something you want to put a lot of size in. It's not something that's like truly confirmed. Because look, we're already pretty much out. They've broken that low. I can actually pretty much get out here. Didn't happen. And again, buyers coming back in, but I think I'm going to wait now till we get to this area because that's where I can add size. Something's happening here. Huge amount of buyers just popped in, but look at that. They're getting pushed out. How far away are we? 12 points. Okay, it can do 12 points. It can absolutely do 12 points. That is not far away at all. Yeah, it can do this. Come on, yes. Get down there. Come on, a bit more. You're not far now. You can do it. Dun, 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 dun. Because you can't really make good money in the market unless you're willing to add size. And so far, we haven't had anything that was like, oh, yeah, add size into this market. Like, again, buyers coming in, but we're so close here. I might as well just wait. They're not really working quite well. And that was a very nice push down, to be fair. What's the cumulative now? We're at -7. Not bad. Not bad at all. You see an iceberg. Yes. Oh, come on. You're so close. Don't go up here. Come on. Just took a nice paper trade off M&Q after we left the key level. Very nice. Very nice. Good stuff. From which profile did you derive the yellow zone below you in your time? I think it's 15-minute up. Yeah. So from Tuesday, 3rd of March, from the low to basically where we are now, this whole kind of push up and including the sideways movement. And you can see it is dead in the middle, but you can see the heavy volume and then a dip, and then we get an increase in volume again. So there's the little gap. There are more gaps as well. There's another one right at the bottom here, which would be great, but that's far away. I mean, the likelihood is we're probably not going down there today. You're welcome. You're welcome, my friend. Man, look at that volume. 4,000 in that candle alone. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, look at this volume distribution as well. Look at the buyers all at the top. Buyers at the top. Big sellers coming in. This is definitely bearish distribution now. They just got to push it a little bit more. They're not far away now. 6 points. We can do this. How many trades do you take per day? Good question. Generally, like if it's my cash account, I probably take like 1 trade a day. And sometimes not even. Like I only trade the real heavy areas, right? Almost like an intraday trader, but I scalp them. So I'd only really be interested up here. Even this one is not that great because but this I probably would take a trade here as well. But like only the heavy areas. I don't take these small little 1 minute ones because they're just too flimsy. And but for these lives, obviously, I can't just sit here for 2 hours and not take a trade. So I try create more kind of potential opportunity by just be willing to jump in a bit more often at areas that probably aren't the best areas either. So it really depends. Look at that, 1,000 again. Come on, they're so close. They can get here now. 3 points away. You can do this. I swear, if it decides to just reverse now, I'm going to be so pissed off. Come on. Don't you dare. I'm going to be so pissed off if it reverses here. Don't get 3 points away and then reverse. That's not fair. Ah, look at that. Come on. Need bear spray. Hey, Sammy, I see your CVD video, but it's very hard to predict the move. David, I'll explain a little bit more here. Give me 2 seconds because we're about to. All right, I'm gearing up to potentially buy. Come on, a little bit more. I want a good dip in there. You know, I want to not just touch it. I want to be inside it, like at least the first quarter of it. Really get inside there. That sounds very dirty, but you know what I mean. All right, we're in. Let's see if the buyers come in and can. I mean, ideally, we see a massive spike in sellers, like huge sell volume, similar to what we're seeing now. Like, look at that, huge sell volume, and then no follow through. So right here, we don't really get any lower than here. And then we see a lot of buyers come in. Like you could front run this right now, potentially, even though buyers haven't really come in, just based on that spike of volume. I'm going to front run just on the spike. Now, if buyers come in, I'm willing to add more size. If buyers come in, I'll add more. But we don't really want to get any lower than we are now. I mean, my stop would have to be here, obviously, below the gap. But we've seen the peak in volume, which is usually step one, sellers potentially getting trapped or are getting trapped. Step two would be to be above the sellers, which we haven't actually done yet. And step three would be buyers getting in. So it's really a 3-step move you're looking for. And the confirmation would be once we're above those sellers and heavy buyers above them. So we haven't had the 2 other steps yet. We've literally just, I mean, they're not even really trapped because we're actually trading below them. But it could happen. It could happen. We're still kind of in the game. But I will have to look at potentially getting the hell out if we break the gap. There's a bit of buyers coming. All right, there's some buy pressure coming in. Step 2 is slowly getting, but we really need it above those sellers. There's the sellers dropping out. So step 2 is kind of in play now. Now we need to get above, like truly above them. And we want to see it happen above the sellers. Right? We're still kind of below them, which is not good. We need to be, you know, ideally up here somewhere. Not just like a tick above, but like actually above them, you know? Like maybe around here. This would be good. If it all happened up here, would be great. Okay, we're getting above them. Good. And bear in mind, that was front running, right? Really, you should be looking at entering like now, you know. And then you want to stay above those sellers. I mean, buyers, sorry, my bad. And let's just see if it just undoes everything and goes all the way back up. Who knows? We might do. And you want to keep your eye on the volume, you know, because it can be icebergs, there can be failure. You're seeing a lot of buyers come in, but look, they're struggling, which is expected because we're at the bottom, and there's obviously going to still be sellers trying to, you know, keep not buying the dip, but the opposite, selling. I guess selling the dip. I don't know what it's called, but you know what I mean. The opposite of buying the dip, essentially. You're going to get that happening. So it might take a little bit of volume to really break through, but once it kind of breaks through and the sellers give up, you get that clean movement, you know? So you have to kind of just wait it out a little bit. But you want to see buyers stay in control and kind of keep the market above, you know? If we start getting below all our buyers and they start getting squeezed out, it's finished. It's done. But we're still okay right now. Selling the rip. There you go, goat. Everyone says buying the dip. What is the opposite? Selling the rip. I like that. So we want to just keep seeing those buyers come in. You're still seeing sellers selling the rip. You want to see buyers keep control of this market. Kind of keep them at bay. If the sellers overpower, we're out. We're out. Goodbye. Not today. Because then, I mean, where the hell could this market go, right? I mean, it did make a nice move down. All right, that now, because of all the extra volume that was added, the gap has kind of moved down a bit. So you could put it there, but it should still hold for the most part. Because this is on keep right, to be fair. I've got it set. So I've got it set to include everything that's happening right now. So it's going to update as the volume changes. But the ones that are, you know, the moves have already happened, you want to switch off keep right so it doesn't take in current things into consideration. But not looking terrible. Buyers are keeping it afloat. It's looking okay. Let's just see if they can keep pumping it up. How do you differentiate between a reversal and a pullback? Very hard, man. Very hard. That's an age-old question, truth be told. How can you tell the difference between a reversal and a pullback? You can't really at the time. There's you really can't. I mean, you're just gonna kind of look at how it develops over time, you know? Like this could be a pullback, it could be a reversal. I truly don't know at this point. This could even, you know, go up a little bit, it's a little pullback, and then a ton of sellers come in and push this market down. Or it could be a full-scale reversal and we just go up and we break these highs. But at this moment in time, there's really no way of knowing. You just have to keep watching it develop, you know? Are you taking a buy or sell? I took a buy here, a buy. And David, I will get to the CVD thing. After this trade's done, I'll explain the CVD, all right? I mean, sometimes you can tell when it's a full-scale reversal just based on the volume. But those are extreme situations. Like, all right, see all those sellers there? We know that that's going to be high traffic. We know it's going to be tough for the buyers to break through above here, right? It's going to take a lot of volume or the sellers to, you know, give up for us to get through there. So it's going to be a choppy area. But once you clear those heavy areas, got a little bit more there, that area is going to be a bit difficult. But if sellers just give up, you know, where is the TP and stop loss? So TP is at the top here. But again, I will get out if I see something I don't like. It's got to be fluid, Cardo. Stop loss will have to be, you know, below these lows. So Stop loss has got to be of shit. What am I doing? Stop loss is going to be there, right? Nice and easy. And again, like, I will also get out if I see, as this starts moving up, which is good. So you see now, like, this volume distribution is looking bullish now, right? You're getting more sellers at the bottom, buyers at the top. That volume distribution is kicking in. So I'm happy now. I'm happy that this is going to potentially keep pushing up more. So if we break now, this candle, I'm going to want to get out the market, right? So if we break this candle here, I'm not going to like it, because that means the buyers failed. Do you know what I mean? Or if you see something now, like a shit ton of sellers come in and buyers are just failing to get the market up, or something that's just shouldn't happen, then, I'd also just get the hell out, right? But at the moment, buyers are doing well. They're putting in the volume. They're starting to move a bit more clean. They've broken that heavy sell area there. There's nothing to panic right now. Do you know what I mean? But look at these buyers here, right? This big chunk of buyers that came in. I'm going to be keeping my eye on them, right? My first red flag will be if we get below those buyers now, because they should be able to keep the market propped up, right? So if a bunch of sellers were to come in and start pushing it down, yeah, I'm just going to get the hell out. I'm not going to wait for it. So I'm kind of playing it as it progresses, because I don't know how high this is going to go. That's just the reality. I don't know. I mean, I could do a volume profile on this move down and see where the obvious areas are that might be dangerous. So we got like a gap at the top here. I can imagine that's going to cause a bit of issues. We had a little gap there. We got the point of control, which we're kind of at. Look, we're starting to, I want to see those buyers come in and defend and not allow this market to go any lower. It's good that the sellers look like they could be trapped. We're trading above sellers, so it's okay. I can still hold it. But you see how buyers are slowly just struggling a bit. They're putting in the volume. We're not really going up much. I need to see that change in the next 20 seconds, or else I'm going to be a bit worried that this could be just be a little pullback, and the sellers come in and push this market down, and that's all it is. It might not be a reversal. You're seeing buyers come in, but look, they're struggling. There we go. Now they're slowly starting to push it up. Good. All right. Crisis averted. All right. Crisis averted, but it's just an ongoing battle constantly. You're monitoring the situation at any second, because anything can change any second. And you've got to be ready to react. Like, again, buyers fail to push it up. There's something happening here, right? This whole area is causing problems for the buyers. Now, we're still above the majority of the buyers, which is okay. So that's why I haven't got out yet. I'm still going to give them a bit of time to get their footing. But now we're adding more buy volume again. Now I want to see if we can stay above those buyers, keep above them. Let's not fail. We're always getting absorbed. It was back at 700. Now we're down to 400. I mean, sellers are coming in. And it looks like, just look at the amount of buyers in this area, and we haven't pushed up. That's a bit worrying. Look, when a bit of sellers come in, the candle pushes down. You see that? That's not looking good. I am starting to get slowly meh about this now and start thinking about potentially exiting here. I just want to see what that 400, 500 is doing. 600, nah, it's not good. I'm out. I don't like it. To me, it looks more like just a pullback at the moment rather than a true reversal. Peter, good to see you. Hey guys, geez, what have I missed? Not that much, to be fair. Not that much. In Joker, did you short that dump, Sammy? What, the other day? I didn't. No, I didn't actually. I didn't short it. Are you talking about this dump here or what we had like a few days ago? I'm not sure. Not gonna lie, Sammy, I want to see you trade your cash account since you take it more serious. I usually trade it after the stream. But I haven't, like, truth be told, I haven't taken trades that often recently because the market's been a bit mental. So, but like I would have taken, truth be told, like I probably would have taken a position, a smaller position, nothing too crazy on that 700 as this was developing. Like on this account, I front runned it here, right? And it worked out, luckily. But really, we didn't really have the confirmation until that 700. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, okay, I got a bit of a better price by front running it, only a few points, but it's probably safer. I got like 4 points better, but we didn't get the confirmation until that 700 kind of came in, right? So, and we were at that gap. Like I said, I only really trade at the real big gaps. I don't trade at like the little 1 minute gaps on my cash account. Like here's a 1 minute gap. I'm not going to be shorting it on my cash account, right? Like don't get me wrong, it could work out, but it's just not worth it, you know. You sound chirpy today, bro. Thank you. I'm in a good mood. Good mood today. Wasn't watching the past couple of minutes. Ah, gotcha. I blew hella cash accounts when I started off trading futures. Oh man, yeah. Easy to do, easy to do. But it's good, like, truth be told, it's good to have like a mess around account. Like, all right, I treat this account somewhat seriously. I'm not gonna full port it, but it's not like my main account. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not too kind of invested in this Ola Prime account, right? As a whole. So I can be a bit more, you know, front run it and just one contract. It's not a big deal, right? It's not a huge amount of money. But that kind of itches my, you know, scratches that itch of that person inside me who wants to be a bit more, you know, have a bit of action. And therefore I only take the like really good opportunities on my cash account, right? If you have an account that where you don't mind like fucking around a bit, you don't pull that bad behavior onto your good accounts. Does that make sense? So it's good to have two accounts. One account where you know, you can be a bit lenient and play around a bit and not care too much, and then have you know, your serious accounts, the one you take seriously. You know, how long did it take you to start getting profitable, Sammy? It's weird. My story is weird, man, because when I started institutionally, I was profitable quite well, not quite quickly, but I was profitable within like the first, I don't know, year and a half or something, right? But that's because you know I had a team, like I had other traders. I had, you know, it wasn't just you on your own computer, you know, and you had risk managers as well. So people who literally forced you to be disciplined, right? You couldn't just do what you wanted. You like it was a bit of a process, right? And then when I became a retail trader, I fucking lost so much money because all of a sudden I didn't have that team behind you. You know, I didn't have a risk manager that says stop trading today. You've lost too much, or I know you're you know you're not in the right headspace. Don't trade. What are you doing? Why are you know upping your risk all of a sudden? No, just keep your risk low. Like you didn't have that person controlling all, you know, your whole discipline, your emotional side. So when I got into the retail space, I freaking hell, that was a disaster, and I couldn't figure it out. I was like, what's happening? Like I'm good on the desk, but I'm bad at home. It doesn't make any sense. And then I realized it's well because it was just an emotional thing, you know. So that took me then. It took me a few years. It took me quite long to kind of get over the emotional side of it. Um, So yeah, kind of went from profitable to not profitable, and then back to profitable. Bit of a weird journey. So it's actually harder being a retail trader. Like genuinely, retail traders harder, man. That's true, and it allows you to play it more safe on your cash account. Exactly. Yeah, have a casino account. An account where you can just mess around with. Get that gambler out of you, you know? I've got ADD. I should be watched as well. I'll tell you what, it will probably be, you will be amazed how profitable you will become as a trader if you hired someone full time to be your own risk manager, to kind of sit next to you and watch you trade and do all that. You'll be amazed how many people how much quicker you become profitable. Like, and that person obviously has to have authority to actually stop you. You know, you need someone who's actually has the authority to stop you and close your computer. And, you know, if you had that person, whether it's a friend, a family member, whatever, I guarantee you'll be so much better. But they got to obviously understand risk management as well. They have to actually know what they're doing. Can't just be any random person. But you'll be surprised then. TradingView does not support replay for volume footprint chart. Where do you backtest? Yeah, this is the thing, man. Unfortunately, I heard Deep Charts has replay. So Deep Charts, new platform. Apparently they can do it. In terms of backtesting, you just can't, unfortunately. You can kind of backtest a little bit by looking at the past, just of how it closed. But a lot of the, like, as you watch me live, like a lot of it's to do with the real time, you know, how the contracts are changing in real time. It actually matters a lot as well. So you really can't, unfortunately. You kind of just have to forward test, unfortunately. But there are platforms, like I said, Deep Charts, I believe, does the replay option. So I see. Yeah, that's why I like to trade with friends, because they can hold you accountable when you're doing dumb things. 1,000,000%. It's good to be in a group of people who will hold you accountable. You become a much better trader. When it's just yourself, unless you have some really good discipline, it's hard, man. It's going to take you years to kind of overcome that. Hit the like button, folks. Thank you, Ransom. Yeah, please, if you can take a couple of seconds out just to hit that like button, much appreciated. Bears are always right. 121% PNL today. Black and white. That is insane, man. You've got to be full porting, right? At 121 PNL. But fair play to you, man. Made back the losses. Good stuff. Thanks, Sammy. You're welcome, Pratik. Deep Charts replay is insanely good. Have you tried it then? I'm assuming. That's good. I still haven't tried Deep Charts. I really do want to try it. It looks like a great platform, man. I don't know what's taking me so long from just getting on it. Okay, so we did actually hold up here. I got spooked a little bit on there, unfortunately, and got out quite early. But we're in that first 1 minute gap. But again, look, real talk. Can it reject? Absolutely. Of course, it can cause problems. Is it something I would want to take, like in my cash account? Probably not. Unless it prints something really dramatic or shows something really great, then of course. But most of the time, like if it was my cash account, I wouldn't even have an alert set here. I wouldn't even have it drawn out. So I wouldn't even be aware to look at the chart at that period of time. So but if you want to be, you know, like a true little scalper, and to be fair, like trading CFDs and scalping it is a bit more difficult because the spread is, like, futures doesn't really have that spread. So it's a bit easier to be a proper scalper. With CFDs, you got that spread. But then again, you don't pay commission. So I don't know. It kind of balances out, I guess. I've used Deep Charts 4 months. Amazing. I still prefer ATAS for customization, but it's better for NQ. ATAS has crypto. That's why I love it. It does. You're right. Yeah. Probably should have taken partials and left the runner in. Probably, but I only had one contract. I didn't. Annoyingly, yeah, I didn't actually add any more positions, did I? No, I didn't. Yeah, I did say I was going to add when we get above here and see the volume, but I don't know. I must have forgot. But yeah, I really should have added on that 700. That's that's really the true entry. Where I entered was again purely front running, purely just hoping that plays out. But that is the true entry right there. Because there you have all three stages locked in. You got a big spike in sellers who failed to push it down and get trapped. We then trade above those sellers, step 2, and then 3 heavy buyers come in above the sellers, step 3. So all worked out. Technically, step 4 would be, step 1 would be to be in a gap. So there's technically 4 steps to it. So you're kind of seeing it here, actually, truth be told. You're kind of seeing the 3 steps right now, right? Buyers, we're in a gap, step 1. Step 2, buyers spiked up and failed to push it up. Step 3, we're below the buyers. And now we're looking for step 4, real heavy sellers to come in, like a good amount of sellers to come in below. You could say that was already there, to be fair. So that could have been your entry. There were some decent sellers there. So technically, there is, but you got to put less emphasis on it because it's just a small 1 minute little gap. It doesn't really have the same oomph. But whereas, the one down here, that was a much bigger gap. That was a 15-minute. It's a much more serious area than that little gap we had there. But technically, there were the 4 steps there. There's the big sellers come in, and effective as well. So there were, again, 4 steps. You see it. You could technically take it. Just be very quick to get the hell out. Don't expect too much from it. So that's really it. It's just 4 things you're looking for. And if it lines up, you can take the trade. I've had a 210 dollar spread on Bitcoin. That is quite a lot, to be fair, 0.3%. On my 400k funded, I've actually passed my 15th funded. Amazing. What props should I try out? Bro, you got to try out Ola Prime, man. You know the answer to that question. Unfortunately, I can't tell you which prop firm to try out other than Ola Prime since I work for them. I'm not sponsored, man. I'm an employee, bro. I'm literally the head of growth for Ola Prime. If you go to our website, go to About Us, our team, we've got the CEO. You got me right there. I'm actually they haven't updated I used to be the lead of the UK operations. I am now head of growth, director of growth, actually. Sorry. That's I've been promoted recently. So yeah, no, so obviously I can't be like, try this prop firm. I have to, but we are genuinely a good prop firm. Like genuinely, we are decent. I wouldn't work for them if I didn't believe in their product. I've never used Ola Prime, but I would only get it because of you. Thank you, Joker. Well, look, if you're ready with a prop firm and you're doing well, there's no need, like do whatever works for you and what. Don't feel like you have to. But if you're looking at trying out a new prop firm, and our rules and everything sounds good, and our pricings fits your, what you're looking for, then absolutely give us a try, man. I opened at Ola Prime 25k yesterday. Amazing, Nils. Amazing. Get me a job then. I think right now we're hiring a lot of people actually, especially if you're into like social media. If you've got like any social media presence or you're good with social media or anything like that, they're actually looking for a lot of social media guys. So you're on my Instagram. Just drop me like your CV or something if that's something you're into or you're good at. Absolutely. Is there a code that I can use that you can benefit from? I personally won't benefit from it. Like there is a code SAM25 for 25% off, but I don't get like commission or anything. I just get my salary. I get what I make from trading, and that's it. I don't really get commission or anything like that. But by all means, I mean, we're always running deals. To be fair, my code gets you 25% off, but I think there's probably better codes out there anyway. Most of the time, okay. So right now there's 20% off running. So yeah, you can get 25% off with my code SAM25. I'll put it in the chat for you. It's very easy. But yeah, sometimes we do some really good offers, like 40% off, things like that. What's the max account in value? I think futures, we got a 200 something account, 200,000 now. Yeah. Sam carrying Olin Prime on his back. Nah, man, the team are doing good, honestly. The team are great, man. They do a lot more work than I do. Looking at you, it must be a good prop firm. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. I participated in hyper liquid development, biggest DEX exchange. Okay, that's my CV. Hey, by all means, man, send it over. We are on a hiring spree. I think on the actual website we got a bunch of like open roles, but there are roles that we're not actually advertising right now that I know we're looking for. So, but we usually approach those people. Does that make sense? But yeah, like social media is a big one right now. That's what they're looking for heavy. So if you've got a good, you don't even need to have a presence necessarily, but if you've got some sort of like experience or some sort of proof or something you could show us, like they might be interested. Or you're good on camera or anything like that. Yeah, man. If you're good at creating reels, shorts, all that kind of stuff, they love all that stuff. So I just trade as my job. That's the dream, man. I just trade my job. Sammy the humble king, too humble. 200K. That's not max allocation, by the way. That's not max allocation. 200K, I think, is the actual biggest account size. Max allocation is, I think it's like, you can scale up to like 4 million with us. I think max allocation might be near $1 million. Let me check. So the biggest account, oh no, we only got 150. We used to have a 250 account. I think ever since we got rid of, okay, so 150 is currently our biggest one. On Forex, yeah, you got 200. Sorry, on Forex account we got 200, and we also do cryptos. That's 100. Yeah, sorry, Forex is 200. It's the biggest. On futures is 150. My bad. And then this is a new account we got, the Ola Prime 1. That's pretty cool. So you can pass this like in one day. You can pass it in one trade. It's designed if you want to pass really quick. You can pretty much full port and pass. Like if your market is bullshit, it is a bit bullshit now. You're right, randoms. It's again. I mean, look, that gap kind of held up a little bit, but like I said, be very quick to get the hell out. You could probably take a couple of points as a scalp, but is it really worth it? I don't know. I've got 6 accounts over 1 million and 1 account over 17 million balance. Randoms, that's insane, man. That's absolutely insane. All cryptos. Okay, crypto, nice. Some props have max balances. Yeah, I mean, there are like maximums, obviously. Like with us, it's 4 million, the maximum that you could possibly ever get. I mean, we might change it in the future, but yeah. For now, 4 million is the max. But again, like most traders, they're with multiple prop firms, right? Like, and I would say that's probably a good idea to be with multiple prop firms. You know, we do have direct accounts as well. Obviously, they're more pricey, but we do have direct accounts where essentially, there's no challenge. But the rules are a little bit stricter, so you got to be careful with if you're going with a direct account, max daily loss is 3%, trailing loss is 5%. Whereas I believe in our one step, that's the one account is 7%. If you go for the normal one step, you get a bit more. You get 6% rather than 5%. So, but therefore, it's also a hell of a lot cheaper because you got to do the challenge, right? So, all kind of, you got to look around. There's usually good deals as well running. We usually run some pretty good deals once in a while. But yeah. Oh man, look at that. They pushed it down. Damn, that gap held. Here was me saying, oh, these 1 minute gaps don't hold. They're a bit weak. And look at this. Look at this. Look at that. It's actually not a bad little push down there. It's a good 15 points actually. Wow. What can you do? But truth be told, if you wait for like the really good areas, you can have an amazing win rate. If you don't front run, really patient, wait for the confirmation, wait for those areas to be touched, the big, the bigger gaps, you can have a very, very good win rate. But you're obviously, the opportunity is going to be less. You're not always going to have a trade. Whereas if you're willing to front run and be a bit more, you get a bit more action. 2 nice trades of that gap. Yeah, that would have been 2 nice ones, man. 2 nice quick scalps you could have got. I mean, I probably would have wanted to exit at that 900. The moment it started failing to push down, that would be a bit more, get the hell out. That would have definitely got me to exit, I think. But either way, still, you would have grabbed some decent. Look at that. They're adding even more. Another 900. Well, sellers are out for vengeance. I wonder if there's a gap on this little push up. Now we're going really insane. There is. It's a very tiny one. It's nothing special. There is a little tiny one that we're in. Look at that 1,000. But again, like, that's just silly. I mean, wow. That's a lot of volume. Sellers are serious. So going back to, I can't remember who it asked. I think it was, who was it? Someone asked. Pratik, I think it was. Was it Pratik? He asked, how do you know if it's a pullback or just a, a reversal? You really don't. That's the sad thing. That's the sad thing, man. Like here, it looks more just like a pullback now. Could have been a reversal if it broke through and just kept going. It could have absolutely been a reversal, because the thing is, it's not determined at any area. If that makes sense. Like, there's nothing that you will see here that will indicate it's going to be a reversal, unless in very extreme occasions, like if the volume is ridiculous, for example, like really extreme rare situations, you might be like, that's a reversal. Most of the time you wouldn't know. But what turns it into a reversal is as we start pushing up, do these sellers all in this area, do they just give up and say, get stopped out? And then the buyers keep coming in, and buyers are happier and happier to keep buying, and then it gets higher and higher, and more sellers just stop, trading basically, and say, all right, we're only going to sell really higher up. I'm not going to sell anymore. then the market just kind of clears a path for these buyers to just keep pushing it up and keep pushing it up. And then it's a reversal, right? But it's like an ongoing thing. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing actually in this, like at the bottom, that will indicate, oh, this is going to be a reversal. Unfortunately, no way of predicting it. That's just the sad thing. Agreed. My win rate is much higher on the bigger gaps, but the smaller gaps can be hard to resist sometimes, not going to lie. You're right, man. Like, you want the action, right? You want to be in the market. That's why it's good to have that casino account, the account that you don't care too much about. But your bread and butter account, yeah, you got to be disciplined in it. It's the only way. Let's see what the 5-minute looks like. Just get rid of that. Yeah, just look, the sellers just came in heavy, man. They didn't mess around. It's hilarious because I was talking shit about this area. I was like, oh, it's just a little one. I don't think it's going to really revert. And then look at that. Look at that. BTC, you want to see Bitcoin? Bitcoin, let's have a look. Now, you can't really use the footprint with Bitcoin, sadly, because every exchange, it only shows you what's in the exchange, right? So this is Bitstamp here, right? So this is all the trading going on Bitstamp. And if I go to Coinbase, it will give me different numbers because this is all the trading happening on Coinbase. So it's all different exchanges, right? Binance will give me a different one. Doesn't look like many people are buying on Binance, but Coinbase seems to be quite popular. But anyway, so I can only really, I'm not going to bother with the footprint on Bitcoin. But in terms of longer term, my God, look at that. That was a true scale. That gap in Joker, that actually held so well. All right, Bitcoin, where are we? I need to get longer term, understand what's going on in the longer term. Okay, let me just get rid of all this. Man, what a sell-off. Okay, so we were in a range. We're kind of breaking out. This could just be a false breakout, though, but who knows? In terms of pure technicals, I will do a volume profile from this leg down and draw out any gaps where sellers would jump back in again. So we've got one there, got a really nice one up here. That's a beautiful one. And be aware that sellers are gonna trade into that, right? So those are the longer term kind of areas. In terms of really long term, we're gonna have to actually drop down to like the 1 day and measure basically this whole move up, right? And then we can draw out any kind of gaps where we expect it to really stop at. Okay, so it hasn't stopped at a gap, but it stopped at the point of control of this move here, right? That's where we've kind of stopped at, which makes sense again. Point of control can definitely stop the price, right? Can even reverse it as well, absolutely can. So, but in terms of gaps, there's really, there was one at the top here, which it did, earlier on at some point, but we broke through there. We're coming back on the other side. Looks like we're testing it again. But really around 50,000 is the next true like buy like crazy kind of area. But now we can drop down to like the 15-minute. And in terms of scalping, we're going to have a look at any kind of, so here was all range. Where did the move really start? And it really kind of started here where we broke out. This kind of area here is where it broke out, right? Because before we had that kind of pull up, it kind of pulled back down, messed around for a bit, and then this is kind of where the leg started, right? So you want to draw it from here to here. And let's look at where there are gaps. So there's a few. I'm just going to get rid of the session one. There we go. There's one there. There's a really nice one there. And then, I mean, there was one higher up, but I know we're already above that. I mean, sorry, below that. But let's see. So, okay. So yeah, right now with Bitcoin, it pulled back into that gap, rejected for a bit, hit the point of control, has again kind of rejected one 15-minute candle, but it broke through, and annoyingly, it didn't quite get back to the other side where you could short it from. But it looks like it's going to go down. The next area for a scalp really would be down around 70,100 something. 187 would be the next kind of scalp area. And then if that fails, the next area will be around 69,000. In terms of other technicals, you got that kind of trend line that looks like it's kind of forming. That would probably line up a bit with the 69,000 potentially. But right now, Bitcoin, there's not really a trade here at this moment in time. I bought Bitcoin at 72,000 with that low volume node there, but she decided to come test lower again. 72,000. Oh, right here. Yeah. Yeah. Again, like these are shorter term ones, right? Like if you're buying for like long-term investments or swing trading, you've got to bump those, got to go to the higher time frames, you know. And yeah, I mean, there's none really, like, I think even I will buy Bitcoin outright, you know, actually own it, not leveraged, around 50,000 and just hold it for years. Because if we get there, I think it's something you know you can hold for years. But even if you're holding it for years, like truth be told, it's not bad even just buying now. Because if you own it outright, it doesn't matter. You're not leveraged. If it drops a few percent, who cares? You know what I mean? It's like owning a house. Like you're not going to look at the house prices every day and be like, "Oh, my house value's dropped down a bit." Like you just don't care, right? You just hold it for the long term. Because it is still extremely cheap to what it can be. We know it can go to 110 or 120 or whatever the peak was. Yeah, 126. I mean, it's dropped 50%. And everyone, you know, everyone is buying it. When it gets to these kind of prices, people are buying long term. Of course they are. I just keep buying even if it goes down. You don't lose nothing until you sell it anyway. Exactly, yeah. If you're, that's like a, you know, long-term asset, just keep buying it. I've been trading Bitcoin short term and it actually turns at low volume lows very nicely normally. Nice. That's good. Yeah, in terms of like short-term day trading, come on. Why is this not loading? All right, it's not loading. There it is. Yeah, that would have been a perfectly fine place to buy, you know. But unfortunately, it did break through. Next area would really be down 70,000 would be the next area I'm looking to potentially buy at. Again, stop below. And I'll target probably 71 like that. That would be my next kind of move. But we're out of that range, which is good. The only annoying thing is I can't really see the true volume with Bitcoin. I would love to be able to see if there's like, was there a huge spike in volume or something, you know, on the candles? See, I would only intraday / swing trade it. I wouldn't be able to scalp it because I just wouldn't be able to see. Like this doesn't tell me anything. It's just you're looking at such a small sliver of the market. All these numbers are meaningless essentially. I just found your channel yesterday. Do you leave Ethereum on at all times when drawing? Oh, do you leave ETH on at all times when drawing the volume profile? ETH, as in extend right? What do you mean by ETH? Sorry, electronic trading hours. Ah, yeah. So I don't even know where that. I think that's in the footprint settings. No, you've got the electronic trading hours. Where is it? I saw it somewhere. Truth be told, I mean, those are my settings. I just had them at default. I know there's oh, it's the session. The session volume profile gives you that. There it is. I've got it at market only. Bottom right corner. Just my internal. Yeah, you can do it at the bottom right. The bottom right here. I'm a little confused, guys. Bottom right corner of platform. It's got to be here, right? Honestly, should say ETH beside your time. I don't see. Unfortunately, I don't see it on mine. Let me go to ES. Let me make this full screen. Maybe there. Ah, there it is on full screen. Yeah, I've got it at electronic trading hours. I've never played with that setting in my life, so yeah, I've never played with it in my life. So yeah, don't think it's anything you have to worry about. Are you more cautious of gaps that have been filled all the way compared to gaps that get tapped into then reverse? That's a good question. It's weird because I've noticed with gaps, it either rejects right at the beginning. Oh, we're in it, by the way. I just realized we're in the gap. It either rejects like very close to the beginning of the gap, or it will reject right at the bottom of the gap as well. That's what I've kind of noticed. And I don't know, there's no real correlation from what I can see that whether it rejects near the top, if it's a better trade than if it rejects at the bottom, if it's a better trade, I don't know, man. It's weird. Whatever session you're using. Okay, I thought that maybe made a difference when drawing the profile. Thank you. I don't think it does. It might do. If it does, that's news to me. I really don't know. Let me see. Actually, let's find out. All right, we'll look at that volume profile and go. No, it looks the same. Don't think it really makes a difference. Okay, so that gap has rejected again. Look at all those buyers. Let me just pop it to manual and 8. Yeah, you're seeing the same. What's it called? I mean, especially there. Look at those sellers that came in 1,000 right here. And we traded above them. Now the heavy volume's coming in. It's not looking terrible. I see. I'm wondering if you read it differently. Because maybe if we filled the gap fully, it can show how comfortable we were trading in it compared to a love tap. and getting immediately rejected, therefore possible being a stronger signal. To be fair, it could be. I really don't know. I've never really investigated it properly and kind of back tested it to see if there was a difference between, just a quick tap or if it really kind of filled it. I know when there's weekend gaps, like whenever you get a weekend gap, like a proper gap, like literally it just, like a weekend gap. If it really fills the gap, there's like 9 times out of 10, it will give you a move in the opposite direction for a bit. Very high probability. Whereas when it just touches the gap, it doesn't necessarily give you that move. And maybe it's the same with, these gaps. I don't know. I really don't know. But you can interpret it in so many different ways. ETH also means extended trading hours, shows pre-aftermarket prices. RTO only when NY markets open. Ah, interesting. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, I've never really played around with any of this. I just, I don't know. I've never really played around with it. Apart from, just the contract changes, that sometimes I play around with. But apart from that, yeah, I've never really, I don't think I've ever really noticed a difference when I ever switched to anything. So, but yeah. But it was a pretty good session, I think, overall today. That 1 minute gap, I'm shocked how well that rejected. Hi, Sam. Do you trade the 70-30 value area lines? I don't. Truth be told, I don't. I always have the value area just at 100. If I show you my daily session volume profile. Because again, I'm not that interested in the heavier volume. Like maybe on like a daily kind of to see the distribution of volume, sometimes it's quite useful to look at. But switching it to value area 70, for example, it's just going to show me this. And then, all right, fine. I know what they teach. They say, if you get back into that, if you're trading, let's say below the value area, and you get back into it, expect some kind of rejection. And that's true. Don't get me wrong. That's absolutely true. But it's such a big freaking area. Do you know what I mean? It's a huge area. I would be more inclined to look at the point of control, or if there's any gaps in volume within that area, that would be more interesting for me. Right? I mean, we haven't really got one, but you could probably find one. If we bump up the row size to 24 or something, I don't know why it's set at 15 for this, but there you go. There's like a little tiny drop, tiny little gap, nothing spectacular. All right, if we got back up there again, maybe, might be worth potentially looking for a short, but it's not great. It really isn't that great. I'm still more interested just on the bigger moves, these bigger obvious gaps that really look nice, like the one we're currently in. These are the areas I want to trade in. They give me the highest probability. Exactly like where we are now, These give me nice high probability setups, usually. But guys, we're almost approaching 2 hours. I think I'm going to leave it there. But I'll, again, back tomorrow. What day are we at? It's Thursday. So Friday tomorrow. Big day as well. I think NFP, if I'm correct. I believe it is NFP tomorrow. It is. There we are. So big day tomorrow. I'll see you guys. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'll see one more comment. I mean, value area high and lower actually, for context, determine the kind of environment we're in. Where is the value migrating to, not an entry mechanism? Yes, you're absolutely right. It is. It's good to see on the daily, to see the distribution. Are we trading below the value area? Are we continuing going down day for day? And you can kind of, but In terms of like pure entries, I just look for the gaps. But yeah, well said. Peter, good to see you. Been awesome as always. Thanks, Sammy. Thank you for tuning in. Broken Candles, thank you as well. Alameen, Dare to Do It Free, Sean, In Joker, everybody. If I missed your name out, I do apologize. But thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Take care, everyone.